Just Pay Part 2. Welcome to Bonesaw Poker. I'm Brad. Today we will play for 30 minutes and finish our discussion on Just Pay. Let's get into it. All right, we're going to play for 30 minutes and talk strategy. This is a continuation to the Don't Pay or Just Pay, Just Fold. And the first one we talked about is playing against these tight players that they don't put money in unless they have two pair plus. And we're going to discuss more of that. But I think at the same point, we need to do a little bit of the caveats. And 10 queen on the button. Or on the button. In the big blind. We'll try to see it. And we'll wait for the big there. 4.4 on the button. He limped. He might go over the top. He's got 58 left, and we just got here. And we have unsuited Broadway, so... Oh, boy. Well, maybe we should have played. So, the caveats are when you're playing against maniacs and drunks. That's one category. We'll cover that one first. He's got two pair. I would have got clobbered. 8-9 off in the small blind. We're going to fold that. So when you're playing against maniacs and drunks, and this is more relevant live because you can see your opponent. You can see that they're just sloshed and throwing chips around. So in that situation is different than what I'm talking about with this. So, like when I play at the Tampa Hard Rock, play 1-2 down there, if you're playing it late in the evening or early morning, which sometimes I'd get there early morning because of my schedule, and there's a lot of people that are still pretty blasted, that when you get dealt a big hand and they're splashing chips around and firing chips in, my opinion, you're just going to have to get it in and hope your equity holds. Because, for example, I've been there where drunk guy is just anything even close to a playable. He's either 3-betting it, or if you 3-bet it, he's jamming. So I had ace king, and so he 3-bets the original raiser. I call his 3-bet. We're going to play this king queen of clubs. New to the table, I'm not really sure of the dynamics yet. If he punches, we'll call his 23.6. We'll call a 3-bet with this for now just because we're new to the table. And we might be ahead of a lot of ranges. So, looks like we're all going to see it. Jack 7 over here, unless this guy wants to screw it up. A lot of dead money in there. All right, 2 overcards in a multi-way pot. I mean, really, we don't... Heads up, I'd be betting this multi-way pot. There's no reason to. So I have ace king, and so I call it. The other guy calls, and so then we go off to the flop, and it's a couple broadways, so I have a lot of outs. I need like a queen, an ace, it's several outs, and so the drunk guy shoves, and I call it off because I'm not folding ace king here against a guy whose range is anything. And we flip him over. He's got pocket sevens. And we're going to bet there. This is a bet fold. Somebody goes over top. We're letting it go. They got 2 pair plus. And I turn an ace. So I'm in great shape. He rivers a 7. It is what it is. And then somebody else at the table said they folded a 7 pre-flop. He hit the last 7. Okay. And he was surprised I took it so well. And I said, this is just poker, man. This stuff happens all the time. And it does. But when you're playing against them, it's really hard to fold out your equity. On some of them, you're just going to have to take some chances, get it in. I've gotten queens in pre, called by 5s by a drunk guy. And, of course, the river's a 5. I got a bunch of these stories. And, right now, I'm on the wrong side of variance when it comes to flips. But that's okay. I'll keep flipping with these guys all day long because I'm ahead pre-flop or flop almost all the time. The fact that I'm a little behind on the flips, that's just variance. That's not a big deal. Now, one way you could play this is it's a 1-2 table, $60 minimum buy-in, $300 maximum. You could buy in for like 100 or 150 instead of 200 or 300, and that way, if you get it in and double up, now you have less at risk for doubling up again, or just buy in with the 200 or 300 and let it rip. If you're on the right side of variance, you're gonna have a nice session. So then that you just have to choose however you want to do it. So that's one of the caveats for just pay versus just fold. On that one, you do just pay, because if their range is not and then that same guy that got the 7s on me, a couple hands later, he gets it in pre-flop against pocket jacks. He's got 5-6 offsuit, and pocket jacks has about 200. Drunk guy's got infinite in front of him because he just keeps taking us to the cleaners with nonsense. And so they get it in pre. He, against jacks, 5-6 offsuit, he flops the 5, turns the 6. So, and then, which is really bizarre, is he had enough presence of mind. Shortly after that, he racks up and leaves. Normally, they don't. Normally, they play until they're broke. When they're hammered, they're just playing until they run out of money. That's when we were upset, because it's like, dang, normally they stick around and just give it all back because they're playing just terribly. We're going to let that go. So that's one caveat to just fold anytime they're aggressing, because you can't do that and give up all that equity, all that pot share in that situation. This is a bet fold. We're not calling 3-bet. Well, no, he's got 40. Okay, so that hit him, not us. If we bet, he's probably calling, but let's c-bet it anyways. We do have 2 overs. Okay, work. 9's in the big. We're just going to call that. I'll do a video one day on pocket pairs, why I play pocket pairs so passively in cash, but yet I play them so aggressively live. I mean, not live, tournaments. Because in tournaments, pocket pairs are big hands. They just are. And in cash, people are nut peddling, and they'll call and catch their overs, and there we go. Oh, that's a beautiful flop. We'll let him keep aggressing, one. Otherwise, we will have to end up donking, or we're going to check raise the turn. Okay, so we're going to call this one, then we're going to get it in on the turn. Even better. God, I hope he's got his flush. Now, if he has ace-king, we're dead. But whatever. You can't fold a boat, even if it's the wrong end of the boat. If he gets a stack, he gets a stack. And we can't fold boats. Now, if we re-raise, are we going to scare him off? We got to get it in. We got to build a pot. This might be a mistake. He might have jammed river. Okay. Well, I mean, he should understand that he's pot committed at this point if he's got a king or a flush. So he shouldn't fold any big hand here. Ah, he had it. Wow. He turned the better boat. Okay, well, it happens. So he got paid. We flopped the boat. He turned the better boat. But I'm not letting that go. I mean, the only hand that beats us is ace, king, and aces. And it is what it is. So, yeah, congrats. So, yeah, sometimes you're just on the wrong side of it. It happens. Nothing to get worried about. The other one that the caveat is the capable player. And you don't run into a lot of them. And I'm going to bring this back to live, and I'll give you a situation where I played it live. I talked about this one before. I was down at the Hard Rock, sit down at the 1-2 table, buying for 200, and a few hands in, I double up. So life is good. And I have two players to my right that one I had played with before, and I know he's a capable player. He's a studied player. You can tell by the way they play. The studied players play differently than the non-studied. You can tell they've read poker books or signed up to a training site. And he was two to my right. The guy directly to my right, I hadn't played against him before, but at the short time I was there with him, it looked like he was capable. And after the session was over, I knew he was capable. He was a good player. So when you're playing against capable players, it's a little bit different. They can bluff. So on some of that, you're going to have to look at the odds you're being laid and the situation that you're in, your position, your SPR, stacked pot ratio, and you're going to have to do some thinking. And you can't just fold. And in some of those situations, you are going to have to just pay. If you have a big hand, you might just have to just pay. That's a different caveat. And both of those guys doubled up not too long after I doubled up. So I had two guys to my right that both had over 400. I had 400. And I wasn't able to capitalize that particular day on them. But it was nice having two doubled up stacks to my right. Even though they're capable players and not fish, I was okay with that because I had position, and that's where position really matters. That's too loose. Really, that's a 3-better fold, 6-8 in that spot. And we got two brokies to our left, which that's where you want the brokies. Oh my God, we would have flopped middle pair and the flush draw. Ouch. We wouldn't be going anywhere. We'd have to see at least the next card. 6 and 8, a spade, gazillion outs. Jack 6, that's a fold. So that's the other caveat. When you're up against capable players, recognize that. It's hard to explain how you can tell the difference between them. They don't cold call the big 3 bets. They don't pay off with marginal hands. They'll get a little stickier with the 2-pair plus hands, even though the river card filled the flush. It's hard to explain, but I think if you spend any time playing live cash, I think you can differentiate them out. I wish I could word it out better, but is what it is on that. So that's the caveats. Because when I'm talking about just fold, I'm talking about the players. A lot of them you see them online, or when I'm playing live cash, if I'm playing like from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., it's a different table. There's almost no maniacs. Aces, that's a playable. We'll 4-bet a 3-bet, but we're not going to 4-bet jam. I 4-bet jam kings and queens, oftentimes ace king suited, but aces. Okay, this stinks. Aces, and we're going to be in a multi-way pot. Okay, it doesn't stink so much anymore. So we were the initial, so we're going to bet it. See who's interested. All right. Well, they're both still interested, so let's go. Let's bump it up. Got to at least pot bet it. See what this guy wants to do. Well, a lot got there, but it is what it is. We're putting it in. Backdoor flush got there. Straight got there. Backdoor flush. So we lost 2 stacks here. One with a boat, and the other one we flopped top set. God. Brutal. Brutal. Well, that's poker. What do you do? Wow. I guess I could have checked it, but I'm not checking that back. All right, this is an easy fold here. So we flopped a set with aces and lost a runner. Wow. Okay, well, what do you do? So we're down 2 stacks over here. Good Lord, we're just giving money away. But either one, I'm fine with the way I played. I mean, it's just how it is. So that's the 2 caveats. Now, going back to the just fold. Now, that's for the opponents that just play super straightforward. They don't put money in unless they have a 2-pair plus hand. We'll try to see a flop here. We'll just call it we're on the button. We're going to fold that. So one of the things, this is more online than live. Well, probably live too, because I don't think a lot of people are really paying attention. All right, we got top. We're going to have to put some money in. So it's pretty much a blank. We're going to go again. We're going to do a bet check line here. Kind of charge him if he's on the flush draw. If it goes over the top, we're dead. Okay. Did I say check, bet, check line? King 6. We're going to 3-bet this or raise first in. We definitely want the the button to fold out so that we can have, and we fold to we're folding to a jam. We want to get the button to fold so that we have position post, but it doesn't matter. I'm not calling it a jam with King 6 of diamonds. Queen 3, we're going to fold that. Okay, so one of the things that when you're at the tight table, especially if they're online and multi-tabling, is are they ranging you and are they shrinking your range as the hand progresses? I'm going to argue probably not. That they're multi-table and so they're just playing fit or fold. Now, playing live, it depends. I mean, if it's a pretty attentive table and it's daytime and they're not on their phones, they're not blasted drunk, they might be ranging you and shrinking your range. So you got to kind of really pay attention at your table and see how they're playing, see how they're paying attention. But my argument is they're probably not putting you on a range and shrinking your range. What is shrinking your range? So when somebody calls your pre-flop, okay, you can kind of picture that upper left matrix. You're in the button and they're in the big blind. I mean, their range is huge. So when the flop comes out and you fire and they call, well, what part of their range interacts with that board that they would continue with but not go over the top with? So you're shrinking that range down. And then the turn card comes out, they check, you fire, they call. Now you got to look at what your flop is, what your turn is, and whatever you thought their range was before, start narrowing it or shrinking it some more. Really, you're trying to drill down into what do they got? What is their range here, and are you ahead of it or not? Or can you bluff it? Can you push them off of it? You're thinking versus that. You can't expand ranges as the hand goes. You can shrink shrink him though. And when the river card comes out, how does it interact with the board and everything else? We're gonna 3-bet this up, and if he goes, we're just gonna call it off. I'm not sure what he's doing here. So Queen 10 of diamonds, we're going to try to see a flop with that. All right, so we flop the gut shot. If he's got the ace, he's going to have to dodge a lot. We're not folding this bet. If he jams here, we're calling it off. We got a million outs. Nope. And that goes back to anticipation, which I do have a video on that. I think that's a real good video. This topic to discuss. All right, so that's what I'm talking about. Is I don't think they're shrinking ranges, but if you're shrinking ranges and they're not shrinking ranges, you should have an edge in that game because you're doing something positive that they're not doing. This is loose. We can't call a 3-bet. We'll see. It's 10-7 of hearts in the cutoff. I mean, it's more of a button play than a cutoff play, but we'll see. Well, we will call it now. There's enough pot odds to see it flop. All right, now we got ourselves some trouble. We got second pair, gut shot, straight draw, backdoor flush draw. We're going to peel one for sure. If he jams, we're probably going to have to let it go. Nah. If he jams, we got to call it off. He doesn't have that much. There's 22 in the middle. But if we call this, are we ever folding? We're not. So let's just put it in now. Let's just put him in and run it. Might be a mistake. Put it in the comments below whether you think this is a mistake or not. God damn. Oh, we just can't. Wow. I mean, we are just paying off everywhere over here. Good Lord. Rough day. All right, we're going to raise this up. Well, it happens. What are you going to do? Now, another thing you could do when you're at one of these tight tables, and I would say this would be more online than live, is 3-bet more. That way, we're getting more heads up. If you're out of position, you have the betting lead, and you're lowering the SPR. So yeah, a hand that was too loose. A hand that I said was too loose got me in trouble. I mean, we got to call one. We got to draw to the nuts. Okay. Yeah, this hand's about over. We can call one big. Hopefully bink a 6. It's not a heart. So yeah, we're getting taken to the woodshed today. And we're done. So is to 3-bet more. That way when you're out of position, you have the betting lead, which is nice to have, and you shrink the stack to pot ratio, which means it's easier to get it in if you need to because you're a little bit more pot committed. And I got a video on stack to pot ratio. I'll try to put a link below to the anticipation one and the stack to pot ratio videos. And I got to stop saying so much. You'll find that. So this guy over here, we're going to put a fish tag on him because he is willing to put money in without the nuts. And when you're playing online, you need to tag these people because it does help you range them and help you with your strategy. He was willing to put it in with 2 overs. Okay, well, that's cool. On that, now we're leaning more towards just pay than just fold because he's not getting it in with the nuts. He got it in with 2 overcards. He was just hoping he hits a queen or a jack because he's probably figuring we just caught one of the other ones, or who knows what he's thinking. So on that, yeah, we're happy to get it in. And it comes down to figuring out the type of player that you're up against and whether you're in the just pay camp or just fold camp with that particular player. Because if they're just nut peddling, the just pay might get a little expensive. If they're not nut peddling, your volatility goes up, but your edge goes up as well. And like you saw today, I flopped a boat and lost. I had pocket aces, flopped a set, lost that one to run a runner flush, and lost over here. Flopped a pair with a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw. This is too loose. And, your volatility goes up, but so does your edge, and that's okay. You just got to have some bankroll to ride that out. Okay. What? So if you could, hit the subscribe button, hit the like. Definitely leave a comment. One of the reasons I'm doing this is I'd like to use this channel as kind of a discussion place where Queens, we're gonna raise this up. With this gang, I mean we're gonna go over the top. Nope, we're not gonna get a chance to. All right, so we got the one over, disconnected board. This is a typical C-bet flop. We're going to C-bet it. Yeah, it is what it is. Boy, we got whacked today. Good Lord. All right, I keep saying again. 5-3, we're going to fold that. And to have some smart discussion in the comment section about my way I'm playing my hands and the topic. If you think I'm way off, say it. I'm a recreational player. I'm not a pro or a coach. So it'd be nice to have some smart discussion on what you think of my play or what I'm talking about. Well, we play 30 minutes of poker. There's no way I'm getting my money back. That's long gone. That ship has sailed. So we'll play it out. Yeah, maybe we'll pick up a pot. Who knows? Maybe we'll get slaughtered some more. But this is poker. All right, baby pairs, and maybe I'll do a video on baby pairs and my thoughts on those. Little spendy, but if nobody goes over the top, we're fine to set mine for 5 bigs. Don't screw it up, man. And we whiffed. No set, no bet. Especially in a multi-way pot. Nope. Jack 8, 8-6. Anybody with a 10? Yeah, we're done. And let me know. I think we've pretty much covered the subject of just pay versus just fold. If you want me to do a third part, I mean, maybe if you ask for that, put what aspects you think I still haven't covered yet. Pocket 10s, that's a playable. Running out of people over here. King 10, money burner. All right, this is a 3-better fold. We're not calling a 3-bet with money burner. King 10 offsuit is money burner. All right, we flopped a set again. Let's see if we can win a pot. We're going to put money in. All right, so we're going to call that. So we've got the flush draw and the open ender. Let's just call it and see what it shakes. And we got the straight, so we're sitting good there. If he flopped the flush, so be it. Okay, we're going to bet again here. No, we got one. All right. Scared him off. Well, what are you going to do? You got to build a pot when you got a set. So I haven't caught a set in infinite. Then I caught 2 tonight. One with aces, one with tens. Aces, they didn't pan out so well. Tens, we got a little pot. So king, money burner in the big blind. We'll see a flop. Why do I call this money burner? It's not suited. You got to fill it out to get the straight. When you flop the king, your kicker is so-so. This hand, I think, struggles to make money. We're going to let that go. Normally on a paired board, I would bet, but we're just going to let this go. Money burner, I just don't have a lot of faith in it. I just don't think it wins much overall, over time. Now, if you have a poker tracker, you can keep track of your hands and see how they're doing. I do have a poker tracker. I haven't been using it during this stuff or my HUD just because I don't want stuff cluttering up the screen. But you can do your poker tracker and you can filter for how your hands are performing. And you'll find that you got leaks somewhere. And one of mine is, when I was doing it, was ace-jack offsuit was my biggest losing hand. So why don't I call that money burner? I don't know. But king 10 was my next. And so king 10 I can understand. But ace-jack implies that I struggle playing ace-jack profitably. And I think it's because I flopped the ace with the bad kicker and I don't let go. Or I flopped the jack, so I have top, and I get too sticky with it on runouts that I shouldn't, and I end up getting whacked. But now that we're going to focus more on just pay or just fold, hopefully that won't be quite the case. So we're down 9. Yeah, we got whacked. We're down 2 stacks. Oh, Cowboys. That's a playable. This is, we're going to repop all in. I do that with kings, queens, and aces over here. See, nobody's 3-betting. I'm going to these flops single raise pot. That is favorable. God, we got to hope he's got the ace. We're going to 3-bet that up. We're going to put some money in. Hopefully he's got something. If not, he's just going to fold. All right, well, we got the boat. Do we have the backwards boat again? I guess we'll find out. Pretty innocuous board. We 3-bet. We're going to C-bet. Hope he jams. We're calling it off. If he's got ace 10, ace king, or ace 7, we're dead. We're going to call that one off. We're going to all in this one. And we just got slaughtered. He's got quad 10s on us. He's got ace jack. Okay. Unbelievable. That is just, well, I was over here. I wasn't paying attention. Over here, he went and I called out, well, I'm not folding top of range. But that was the conversation about just pay, just fold. Is you see that when he went, I was dead. He was only going when I'm dead. He's hoping I have aces or kings or queens, and he's jamming, and I'm paying him off. And I said that's where I was going to stop doing it, and I didn't take my own advice, and I went ahead and did exactly what I said I wasn't going to do anymore and lost yet another stack. We're going to try to realize our equity. We're losing to a 9. We're losing to spades. Oh, my God. That's one where, but how do you, you just do. Yep, there was the proof right there. And I screwed it up. I should have folded. And from an SPR point of view, I should have folded. So I should have folded the aces there. All right, this is a favorable flop. And I didn't, and it cost me. And probably most people are saying, look, you never fold an aces there. All right, so we got a lot going here. We're going to fire again. King 10. That's not money burner because it is suited. Yeah, unreal. Just a whooping today. And that's where I should have folded those aces. And if I wasn't in this hand over here, maybe I would have paid attention and realized, because I think I realized it afterwards, that he went and I called it off. And there it is. When you just pay, you get kicked in the teeth over and over again. This hand's done. I'm not calling a C bet. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today. That was 30 minutes of me getting just blasted. Unfortunately, that was brutal. Oh, we'll play that one. We're going to sit out on this one. We'll set mine. No set, no bet. Wow, what a brutal session. Okay. Well, I think we'll sit out here. We'll call it there. That was 30 minutes of poker. I'm Brad for Bonesaw Poker. Thanks for watching. And remember, everything you want is on the other side of fear.